I've probably traded every type of market that there is across Polymarket and Kalshi. We're talking mentions markets, political races, entertainment. I've done Rotten Tomatoes scores. I've seen everything across the board. In this video, I'm going to go over the three niches that I've actually found to be the easiest to profit long term. And if you focus on these niches, I think that over time, your bankroll is going to continue to stack and you're going to start to find that this is your sweet spot. So it might not be for everybody, but these are the three niches in this video that I think are the easiest to gain an edge in if you're smart, do your research, and really just dial in. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel on In the Money, we go over everything that you need to win across crypto, prediction markets, and more. So links down below in the description as well. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. I do want to give a big shout today. We are launching our official In the Money Discord. And I mean, we are honestly off to a really hot start. Prediction markets yesterday, we went 3-0. The Call of Duty League traded as well. And first day of the Discord, we were absolutely cooking. You're going to get all the information from me and my team across crypto, prediction markets, and more. Only $49 a month. And I believe you get a 3-day free trial. So a very good proposition here if you want to jump into the group and profit with us across crypto and prediction markets. Hit that link down below in the description, inthemoney.live. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it, guys. Obviously, like I've always said in prediction market videos here, when you open up Kalshi, I mean, like it's overwhelming, or Polymarket, whichever one. Like you go through here, there's so many different markets. You can really get caught up in a ton of different things. And I think some of the most popular ones are obviously sports, politics, crypto, and mention markets. But for me, I've always found that whenever I diversify a little bit too much, that's whenever I start to burn my bankroll across prediction markets. But whenever I stick to specific niches, I really do start to find a sweet spot. One of my sweet spots is sports, okay? But there are different things like, I mean, I'll be honest, I probably shouldn't be placing money on golf or like tennis. Those aren't my fortes. I know some people who are experts in that, so I'll take their advice on that. But I have found three specific niches to be my most profitable. And this is backed by data. There's many softwares out there as well. You can plug in your account and it'll tell you where you're making money consistently and where you are losing money consistently. So after doing analysis on my account, I've found that these three niches have been the most consistently profitable. And honestly, whenever I look at the data, probably the easiest to exploit across these markets. Number one is going to be live in-game progress betting. So what we're talking about here is, you go to sports, let's say, and let's go to baseball. Baseball is a perfect example of this. I have made a ton of cash this year on Kalshi specifically on live in-game baseball. And what I mean by that, so you can see here, Tampa Bay and Boston. You click on the odds on this game. You can see here Boston is a 52% favorite to win this match. And we see here Tampa Bay to win by over 1.5 or Boston to win by over 1.5. You can kind of manipulate these odds. But with baseball, it's a very, baseball, they play 162 games. A lot of these odds pregame really shift by like the second or third inning. And if you want to take advantage of softer lines or be able to actually navigate what you're seeing inside of the game, doing this in game is perfect. If it's 0-0 after the third inning and the total is still 7.5, even if the no is now like 55, 60%, that's a great proposition. I've really nailed down a ton of profits by live playing totals on baseball. Or there's 6 runs in the first 3 innings. All of a sudden you can still get like over 9.5 at 62%. I love taking those propositions. If the bats are hot and you're going into the bullpen early, if you know anything about baseball, if your starting pitcher gets knocked out of the game early and you're using a bunch of bullpen arms, it probably bodes well for offense in that type of a game. So I really like to navigate in-game totals whenever it comes to stuff like baseball, for example. American football is right around the corner. We're going to absolutely crush American football this year. Really excited about that because momentum is everything in American football. You can feel when a game-winning drive is being put together or, in a high-scoring game, you can kind of manipulate those odds and cash in on totals, etc. So in progress betting as well, like during the NBA finals, it was such an easy play to like swing trade, Spurs early, sell, and then navigate to the Knicks towards the ends of the games. Like really live in game is so much easier to exploit than pregame. Just, typically speaking, you look across the baseball lines, most of these are, between 50-50. I'll make sure we're just on pro baseball. I don't want to see like the foreign leagues. But yeah, like most of these games are between 65 and 50%. Like a lot of them are 50-50 for the most part. But by the third or fourth inning, you're going to know the momentum of the game. You might start to see a team pull away, runs start being scored. Or if you think that, hey, by the third inning, it's 0-0, but Tampa Bay is looking a little better. You come in here, Tampa Bay maybe to cover 1.5. Like you can come in here and take advantage of those lines very easily on in progress betting. So that is number one. Live plays, like some of these odds are really tight pregame, but during the game you can really swing trade these to your benefit. Number two is esports. This year I think I've made more cash on prediction markets on esports than like I've made more on esports than the World Cup, for example. And I mean, the World Cup, we've been very solid, other than a few random, outliers. The World Cup has treated us very well. But esports is something, if you know anything about the background of me or my channel, I came into crypto 2017. I got into crypto gaming 2020, 2021. And, I'm a gamer at heart. So I pay attention a lot to some of these esports leagues. And like Call of Duty League, for example, I find so easy to exploit as far as profits go. You click on esports here. Let's go over to Call of Duty. And the reason I'm saying that is if we go to League of Legends, let's see, like tomorrow, I know T1 plays Carmine Corp. Let's see here. There's not a lot of volume yet because they just posted this market. I would assume there's going to be 6+ figures on that game tomorrow. There's a lot of liquidity and a lot of money and volume that goes into these big leagues like League of Legends, for example. But if you go over to like the Call of Duty leagues, even the biggest match of the day only has $14,000 on it. Optic versus Paris. That's probably the premier match of today. Even 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 and the Falcons has 23,000. Thieves in Minnesota G2 has 15,000 on it. And the first match of the day has the most. It's 36,000. So I'm assuming people are trying to, hit the first match and move on to the other ones. But some of these lines are just so soft. When you look at like, let's just go G2 versus Thieves. I don't think that this goes 5 maps, for example. Even at 75%, I think that's a great proposition. I think Thieves win 3-0 or 3-1. They're coming off a really bad loss yesterday. And there's not a lot of competition in these markets because of the liquidity. The liquidity is low, and most people don't pay attention to the Call of Duty League, for example. And if we look at the picks yesterday, we had Paris yesterday to beat Toronto. That was an easy win. We had Optic in Miami under 4.5. Easy. Optic 3-0'd. And then 𝗲𝗏𝗏 Vegas and G2. I figured G2 was good enough to win 1 map. And that's exactly what happened. We had the over 3.5 maps, and it went to 4 maps. So I feel like these esports leagues, I'm not going to call it a small league. Like everyone knows Call of Duty. But as far as the esports scene goes, it's definitely one of the least popular leagues. But I find that where it's so easy to make profits over the long haul. So I absolutely love playing Call of Duty esports. And even, there's times like CS2 tournaments are great money. Good League of Legends tournaments are great money. Just there's more eyes on those matches. So I think more niche esports like Call of Duty, for example, are super easy to profit on, especially if you pay attention. Like I watch these matches. Like I'm fully entrenched in making sure I understand which teams are hot, which players are hot, what game modes they're doing well at, etc. Pardon me. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing as far as esports. And you can see here, like on my funded account, yesterday we hit every single pick on Call of Duty. One thing I don't like is WNBA. I've not been cooking on WNBA, but this is just some examples. We did a live total during the All-Star game. Baseball, we hit on that. These League of Legends plays cashed, soccer cashed, etc. So, a lot of my success yesterday was just off of esports on this funded account, for example. And I think, it's a $10,000 funded account. If you want to trade with other people's money on Polymarket, by the way, Funding Predicts, link down below in the description. You can actually get 20% off an account if you purchase with the link in the description. So yesterday on my funded account, I made $178. Gross profit was 178. And yeah, it was, I mean, a really good day across 8 trades. So very happy with that on a $10,000 funded account. So and that was mainly just off of Call of Duty yesterday. And then last but not least, the third niche that I think is really easy to exploit, especially if you follow it exclusively, is soccer, but it's not going to be what you're thinking. So obviously, everyone is playing these World Cup matches. Everyone becomes a soccer fan every 4 years for the World Cup. But for me, I pay attention religiously to the Premier League, to the La Liga, Bundesliga, League One, all these different leagues, because this is where you can find profits. This is where, you know, if you're digging in week to week, let's go to the Premier League, for example. A lot of what I like to do, let's go to fixtures. This starts next month. So about a month from today, we have Arsenal versus Coventry City. What I really like to do in Premier League is play totals, either, you know, over, under a certain amount of goals. But what I really, really like is, even if it's a low ROI, like Arsenal Coventry City, at home for Arsenal. You know, Arsenal's the best team in the league currently. No on Coventry City is the play there. I don't know the percentages yet, but you want to go against the weak squads, but not necessarily yes on the strong squads, because there are random draws. There are things that happen. Man City versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth is solid. A lot of people on that match are going to think, oh, go Man City. But actually, I think the smart play is going Bournemouth no. Like, they won't win the match. So even if it's a tie, even if it's a draw, you still win that proposition. Aston Villa and Brighton. I'd probably go Brighton no. And Brighton's at home. So that's probably a pretty good percentage if you were to take that. So in my opinion, you know, going very savvy on domestic soccer leagues, you can make a ton of cash over the course of a season going against the weaker squad rather than going yes on the stronger squad. That is how most people lose money. They look at a match, they say, oh, wow, Arsenal's an 80% favorite to win this game. That's a lock. And then they tie, and everyone on that side loses money. Whereas you could just go on Coventry City no, or let's say Brighton no against Aston Villa, and actually cash in even if there's an anomaly of a draw. So that's what I did last season in the Champions League, in the domestic leagues. Bundesliga is great for goal totals. So, you know, World Cup is great and all, but everyone's watching it. Everyone's betting it. There's so much liquidity. It is a tougher market to beat. There's not as many games going on, but on any given Friday, Saturday, Sunday, over the course of the next 8 months, 12 months, really, whenever all these different leagues are going on, there's so many games. You will find edges. You'll find mispriced lines. You'll find percentages that favor you in the long term, and we'll exploit those right here on the channel, and of course in the Money Discord, guys. So if you enjoyed the video today, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. The 3 easiest niches that I have found to exploit on prediction markets, I'll recap just quickly. Esports, live in progress plays. So while the game is going on, you can really swing the odds in your favor, you know, playoff momentum, etc. And then last but not least, not the World Cup, but domestic soccer leagues. We're talking England, we're talking Spain, France, Germany. They're local leagues. That's where you can really make a ton of cash by paying attention. World Cup is great and all, but everyone's playing it. Everyone thinks they're an expert. But at the end of the day, the real money is to be made grinding out these leagues week to week. So guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you guys on Monday's video. As always, trade responsibly, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.